Hi there, and welcome to It's All Good. I'm Morgan Babineau, joining you a little later today. So if you happen to be joining me for the first time, welcome in. You're in for a treat. Sit back. We're about to dive right into all things good news going on around Southwest Louisiana. I want to kick things off with this because I'm just beyond proud of all of my coworkers here at 7 News. KPLC brought home some big honors last week at the Louisiana Associated Broadcasters Awards. KPLC was named Small Market Station of the Year, and then yours truly took home the Young Professional Award. I couldn't be more humbled and grateful. Brandon Brown was named Multimedia Journalist of the Year, and we also took home awards for Best Newscast, Best Series, and Producer of the Year. In a special moment, retired anchor John Bridges was inducted into the LAB Hall of Fame, honored for his decades of service and his lasting impact on Southwest Louisiana viewers.
The people that I've met, the places that I've been able to go to that I would never be able to do without being in the media has just been rewarding, and it's just an indeed pleasure to be up here. And I want to thank everybody at KPLC for giving the opportunity.
All of us here at KPLC are honored to be at your service, working out in the field, on the desk, and behind the scenes. Viewers like you watching right now have helped to make this all possible. Big thank you to you guys. We're going to switch gears now. We have many topics to cover today. Louisiana National Guard soldiers returned home after months overseas on a peacekeeping mission. But for many families, the homecoming is just as important as the mission itself. KPLC's Anissa Carby shares the moment families reunited for the first time.
Battalion, up 10, show. Task force, dismiss.
For military families, reuniting with their loved ones marks the end of months of waiting, uncertainty, and sacrifice.
I was just praying. I was just so happy that, he came back home safely. That was one of the biggest things for me. Like, I'm a police officer, and being him in this field, it's just, my nerves are so crazy. So I was just thankful and grateful that he came home safely.
The soldiers were deployed to Kosovo as part of a joint peacekeeping mission, working alongside other forces to maintain stability in the region. But while the mission overseas is complete, the transition back home is just the beginning, and for some, it may be the last.
Many deployments. This was one of the easiest ones because it wasn't like Iraq or Syria or some of the other ones that he's been to that have been really challenging. If you're watching this later, David, this is it, right?
This deployment could mark the final chapter in a decades-long military career.
He's a first sergeant, and so he's getting ready to retire, I believe. So, yeah, we're at the end of all of this.
Old, so.
Yeah, he's
56.
Yeah.
For others, it's just the beginning, like one newly engaged couple.
Oh my gosh, I literally just sat there and I cried. And I was just like praying. We stopped and we took a second to pray. And then after that, we both just cried. Like, we were just like, oh my goodness, like, we did it.
And while these soldiers won't deploy again anytime soon, officials say they could still be called on for emergencies within months of returning.
I feel like we could do it again. Like, he made it easy. Like I said, he made it easy, so we could do it again. Is it hard? Yes, but it's doable. I'm so proud of you, baby. Like, we did it. We did it. We worked hard. We stayed the course, and now we're here.
In Lake Charles, Anissa Carby, 7 News.
A huge thank you to every one of our servicemen and women. Well, moving right along. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, 1 in every 5 adults reads at a low level. Here in Lake Charles, the Literacy Council of Southwest Louisiana is doing their part to improve those numbers. Serving over 1,000 students each year across the 5 parishes, the program serves out-of-school youth ages 16 and up and adults looking to grow their reading, writing, and math skills.
We work with individuals who come from some of the most unique walks of life, and hearing stories like students that have been in the program for a while, starting and stopping, working through barriers throughout their youth, all the way through adulthood is inspiring. Every day we meet new people, every day we hear new stories, and every day we get to celebrate with our adult learners.
The education program has been in place for more than 35 years. Ward 1 Fire Department has introduced a new fire truck into their operations. KPLC's Brendan Brown reports the department wants to have enough resources to respond to calls, keeping up with Moss Bluff's growth as a community.
Ward 1 firefighters pushed in a brand new fire truck into the station.
Chief Robbie Trahan says they purchased a 2025 Spartan through Delta Fire and Safety.
We go to work every day and try to make sure these guys have the equipment they need. They deserve it, and our board works with us and make sure we're able to do that as well, and make sure they have the good equipment to go home to their families when their shifts are over.
Trahan says the firefighters are already taking pride in their newest addition.
It makes me feel great. I actually had guys requesting that the truck not be put in service till they were able to hand wax it. No equipment put on it or anything. So it actually has 3 coats of ceramic coat on it right now because they just kept putting it on there.
The firefighters will be using the fire truck regularly, and they provided a request on what essentials they wanted on the truck.
Mainly just more scene lighting. At night around here, it's pretty dark, so it's nice to have front and scene lighting to light up a scene better.
The new fire truck is an addition to other multiple fire trucks here at the station. This new one can intake 1,000 gallons, and that is enough to be able to help service the 20,000 residents of Moss Bluff.
It was significant because of the growth in Moss Bluff. We are continually expanding, and for us to serve the community and the new additions, that we need additional equipment, additional personnel.
In Moss Bluff, Brendan Brown, 7 News.
And the Gillis Meat Market hosted its 2nd annual car show at their store location off of Highway 171. Owner Kevin Daggerpoint estimated roughly 80 to 90 cars showed up and showed out at this year's car show. Over 50 vendors attended this year's event, selling homemade items such as meat pies, syrup pies, honey, and tallow. The meat market was also open, selling hand-mixed boudin, sausage on a stick, chicken cracklins, and 3-pound crawfish trays for just $20.
We kind of honed in this year very much to community, from blood drives to giveaways throughout the day for vendors, for cars. This year, we just wanted community to be at the forefront of all things with our car show this year.
In addition to the 2nd Saturday of every month trade days, we really push our meat market because we make our own boudin hand mixed. So we make 600-pound batches at a time, 3 times a week, and we make our own sausage, our own seasoning. We process deer. It's a great atmosphere here. So come by, try our boudin.
You can visit the Gillis Meat Market on the 2nd Saturday of every month for their Trade Day farmers markets. Lake Charles Memorial Health System and Second Harvest Food Bank teamed up for a food drive to combat food insecurities during National Nutrition Month. Food insecurity remains a significant issue in Louisiana, where 1 in 6 people experience hunger, including 1 in 5 children. Donations collected during the event will remain local and then be distributed through Second Harvest network of partner food pantries across the 5-parish area. The last day of that food drive happened last week. Well, the Family and Youth Organization hosted its 28th annual Connections Count Professional Development Conference. Over 200 professionals such as social workers, counselors, law enforcement, and victim advocates from Southwest Louisiana attended the 2-day conference. Over 50 experts gave presentations at the conference. Clint Davis, a keynote speaker, talked to us about attending the event for the very first time.
This is my first year, yeah. I've been up in Shreveport doing work forever, and they asked me to come down. I travel and speak all over the country, and so Connections Counts is a conference that Family and Youth nonprofit has put on for a long time, and so it's just bringing their staff, but also now anybody who's trying to care for children and families in the area together to learn more tools and resources to help them.
This year marked the 56th anniversary of Family and Youth in Southwest Louisiana. Adobe Elementary teacher's quick thinking helped to save the life of her 6-year-old student. Last week, the Marks family received a call their son Nico had choked on a piece of apple. KPLC's Anissa Carby caught up with the family, the young boy, and the teacher who saved his life.
My world stopped because I couldn't imagine anything happening to any of my babies.
I'm just thankful for Ms. Benham, my wife. We're all just thankful for Ms. Benham because, like, when you sit back and think about it, there's a chance he can't even be sitting here right now or wouldn't be sitting here right now.
This chair is where a moment happened that saved 6-year-old Nico Marks' life. At Adobe Elementary School, his teacher Megan Bunham noticed his bubbly, upbeat personality went quiet moments after he took a bite of his apple.
Nico stood up, and he's not usually standing to eat, and I looked over and he had tears coming down his face, and so I just went to him quickly and said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he was not breathing. He just shook his head no.
In that moment led to her to respond with a memory of when her husband saved her son from choking.
Kind of like hunching forward, I guess you could say. I patted him on the back several times. Still nothing was happening. I went behind him and I said, "It's okay, buddy, I got you," because he was just, I could tell he was scared. And so I just kind of put my arms around him and just reenacted kind of what I remember seeing my husband do when our son was choking. And then he started coughing. It wasn't like, I know that a lot of the times food will fly out of mouths. It didn't happen that way that day. I guess it just kind of dislodged enough to where he could swallow.
Moments later, he gave his mom a call to explain what happened. Rhonda Marks says she wanted to hear his voice.
Spoke to him. He was still, I guess, still processing everything because he really didn't have anything to say.
His dad, who is an ICU nurse, believes teachers need to receive training for situations like this.
It's like the kids are with them all day. Having to call 911, that person may not have that much time.
The family is grateful and glad Nico is here back to his bubbly self.
We're doing that the next day.
It's nice to know that we have teachers out there that actually care for our kids the way that we do.
We love you, Miss Benham.
We really do.
I hope she stays as my teacher.
In Lake Charles, Anissa Carby, 7 News.
Superintendent Jason Van Meter said in a statement that he's thankful Ms. Benham acted quickly because this situation could have ended very differently. Well, still to come, we are highlighting both men's and women's McNeese basketball on their remarkable runs. That and so much more you don't want to miss right after this. Welcome back to It's All Good. It's time for our sports news. Jaslyn Russell's journey didn't start in the throwing circle, but it's where she's now making history. The Oakdale native found her true fit in track and field, and it's paying off in a big way. 7 Sports' Caitlin Wojcik tells us more about Russell's story in this week's Sports Person of the Week.
Life often pulls us in many directions. For Jaslyn Russell, she was originally drawn to the hardwood.
Basketball was like the top sport. People wanted me to choose basketball, but I was like, I'm a 5'8" center.
But Russell was meant to throw a different kind of ball. In middle school, she discovered track and field.
First meet was the 4x4. Was I fast? No. So they was like, let's try shot put. I'm like, okay, what's this? I threw it. They was like, yeah, you're going to do this. I'm like, okay.
A sport the Oakdale native excelled at. The Warrior was the Class 2A shot put outdoor champion in 2022 and continued her throwing career at McNeese.
I realized I started putting more effort in track than basketball, so I just chose the track life. I just enjoyed the track. It was stress-free, but then like I got to college, I was like, oh, it's not stress-free. This is no game. Like, this is serious.
A heavy challenge, but one she could bear. Now in her senior year at McNeese, Russell has etched her name in school history. On February 26th, she became the first Cowgirl to win a gold medal in women's shot put and be crowned the Southland Conference champion in the event.
I'm like, oh wow. I was shocked. I didn't know how to feel. I was just like, you know what? This is a blessing. It's just a blessing. It was wonderful to even make history, to just even get my name out there, especially for being at Oakdale from a small school. It was really wonderful.
While Russell did trade the court for the throwing circle.
I enjoy basketball, but I was meant to be strong instead of tall.
She still reached new heights, just in a different way. Caitlin Wojcik, 7 Sports.
We cannot end this sports segment without talking about McNeese basketball. Though both outcomes were maybe not 100% what fans wanted, both seasons were nothing short of remarkable. Last week, the Cowboys began their March Madness journey facing off against Vanderbilt. The game kept everyone on their toes, McNeese not going down without a fight. The 12th-seeded Cowboys led by 12 points in the first half and forced 8 turnovers in that same time period. A great run nonetheless. Now we're going to head over to the Cowgirls, who made their first appearance in the WBIT, dominating in the first round, beating the Texas A&M Aggies 68-48. Elijah Washington leading all scorers with 20 points. The Cowgirls would then fall to San Diego State in the second round, a record-breaking season. Something else to highlight, Ariana Patton scored her 1,000th career point that night. Huge congratulations to those teams. I also think it's important to highlight those off the court, the ones who are showing up in ways that aren't always highlighted. Amir Khan is one name that comes to mind.
It only took one video.
It's completely changed my life.
From student manager to viral sensation, Amir Khan put McNeese on blast in last year's NCAA tournament.
I couldn't process it, really. I was seeing my favorite sports accounts on Twitter, on Instagram post me, and I was kind of confused by it all. I thought I'd wake up and then it would just, be a fever dream, but it kept going. It was real.
But despite all the noise, the Lake Charles local is just living his dream.
I just love it here, love the community. It's not the biggest city in the world, but it's home, and it's always been enough for me.
He grew up watching McNeese on the hardwood, and 3 years ago, he decided he wanted to be a part of it.
Really, it was when Coach Wade came. I was a big LSU fan, and when he was coming to town, he was my favorite coach before, so I had to find a way to work for him. I was a student here. It aligned perfectly.
Amir became a student manager with most of his responsibilities happening behind the scenes. But there was one job that put him in the spotlight.
He says one of y'all has to carry the speaker out when they walk it. They'll play any song they want before they make the final walkout, before they head onto the court. So I just grabbed the speaker that day, put it on.
And the music hasn't stopped. After going viral, Amir became the first student manager to ink name, image, and likeness deals.
It's allowed me to pay for school. It's allowed me to pay off some student loans. As a student manager, we don't make any money. I live at home, and so my parents help me out. So I'm not complaining there, but it's just helped me out in terms of it feels like I got paid for the last 2 years of work. And yeah, I hope that more student managers are able to experience that.
Now the volume is slowly rising as Amir Khan makes his return to the big stage. It may have started with a boombox.
If I could walk out to a song, anyone, it'd be like a Lil Wayne song. Lil Wayne's my favorite rapper of all time.
But this time, he's hoping to share the aux with other student managers.
I want them to get the spotlight. I don't need any more spotlight. I've had enough for it to last me a lifetime, and I'm appreciative of all of that. So I just think a spotlight of what student managers do to help the team is one I want to showcase.
Now, you may not know all of their names, but the McNeese Pep Band has been traveling far and wide to show their support for the Cowboys. Caitlin Wojlak, who had a busy week, if you can't tell, caught up with them in Oklahoma City.
At the Townsley Law Arena, Polk Nation always shows up loud and proud. But the backbone of the crowd, the McNeese Courtside Cowboys. Like the Bayou Bandits, this isn't their first rodeo playing on the national stage.
But having the band here, they've been instrumental in our home court advantage over the last 3 years.
Sure, they jam out and bring the noise, but what sets them apart from the rest?
How annoying we are. Absolutely. Sometimes we say things and I get a little annoyed, and I think that just means we're doing a good job. We heckle a lot, and it's a lot of fun to do that.
Practice makes perfect, and the chants are no exception.
Some of them are spur of the moment. It just happened in the moment. But a lot of them, yes, a lot of them we practice. Like we have a dedicated class time during the spring semester, and we practice our music, and we also do practice some chants.
And they've got something special ready for Thursday's game against Vanderbilt.
What if I told you? We're working on something new for the game. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
That might be a surprise, but what will never remain a mystery, the support they show to the blue and gold one note at a time.
We know that we're able to do it. We know what our boys are capable of, and we just want to support them however we can. And that's by playing our hearts out and just cheering as much as we can for them.
And I know all of us here in Southwest Louisiana are very proud of our Cowgirls and our Cowboys. Well, that's going to do it for me. You can kick each week off with good news by tuning in Mondays at 11, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, or wherever you stream 7 News. Have a great week. I hope it's all good.